Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about array. What is array? To tell you this, to understand the Java coding, you really need to understand what the array is. This is one of the most fundamental thing that you need to understand. So what the array is? Array is basically an object that contains the elements of the similar data types. Okay, so it is the representation of similar data types. And then it is where it it stores the data or the objects within the index, so it uses indexing concept. Okay, so the array sizes are fixed, so you initialize the array size, so you will give the certain size that you want to your array to be, so to be at the maximum level. What else? You need to initialize the array value at each different index, and where these values will get stored at that index point, and you need to read them within the given index. So let's go through some exercise so that you can have better understanding what I'm talking about. So let's create one, not class, let's put this inside some package. I'm just writing this as a package called sunarray. And for this demo purpose, I'm going to create a class. I created a class called array demo. Okay, so it is loading. Let's give it a few seconds more. Okay, finally it is there. So here's our array demo. So what I want to do here, let me first go ahead and create a quick main method. And I'm going to create a method called array.readString. It is called readString. Read my. So let's say read my. Let's say I'm writing like this. Okay. Let's create this method now. So that's the method that I want to write the array codes. So how the array writes, right? So you write string array. I want to read the strings here, so I'll define some string type. So array is identified with this square brackets, okay? And then you give some variable. What do you want the array to be? Okay, I'll just write my array, okay, is equal to new string. Okay, here you put what size of the array you want, so let's put 10. Okay, that's the very initial thing you need to know. Now what's next? So let's continue to fill up the values now. So my array to do 0, it just starts from 0, goes new. Oh no, let's give the value here. So value would be Bob, right? What else? I want this. So this would be 1. So Charlie, right? Bobby. um, Sherry. This should be Shannon something, right? So let's put this guy as dummy. This guy could be Sharp, something like that. So this would be, let's say, David, right? So this is 6, this is 7, and we need to add more. So it's 8, and it's 9. I'm going to put a couple of things here. I don't want to define anything here. I'll just put null, okay? And this, I'm going to make this as a blank. And this, I'm just going to comment this out so that you can see what it does. So what I want here is I want to print this, guys. So first thing what I want to tell you is what it does, right? So I want to give my array size of the array. I want to print this out, okay? What else I want? Now I want to print the whole thing out. If I want to print one thing, what I have to write is I'll have to get this guy. I need to get some numbers here. I need to pass the index number what I want, okay? So let's remove this initial concatenated strings. So I need to pass the number. If I need to represent only single guy, I need to pass the number which index this one is, okay? If I want to pass this guy, the second guy, I need to pass number 1. That's how you write. And let's go ahead and run this out first so that we can further elaborate this. Okay. Okay, so here I should put ln so that it goes into the next line. Okay, that's the print. Okay, so what I want is I want to print this guy again. Okay, size of array is 10. And if you have noticed here, there are not 10 lines. I comment this guy out. I didn't even define 7, but it is not reading from there. It is reading from what you already told it to be. So 10 doesn't mean 1 to 10. It starts from 0. Okay? It starts from 0 always, and 9. If you give 10 here, then what it would say? It says array index out of bound exception, which is the exception that says, hey, I'm out of bound, I'm already outside of the boundary, I cannot go further down than 9, because 9 is not 9, 9 is 10. Okay, so you need to be careful with that. So you are basically giving the fixed size of the array at 10. Now you might have a question, why we need array? Just to represent this guy, we could have just write right? You could have just write this. Now, just take it as this way. If you want to represent this guy, now you have to give the different one, right? I have to give like this. Right? So now just take it as this. If you want to represent 10 different values, you're going to write all different 10 variables. Just think about if you have 100, right? Or if you have a 500, how you define them. let's not go further down with the 500. Let's just think you want just 20 variables, right? You want to just represent 20 strings, and then you want to represent with all 20 different variables. That doesn't sound much realistic. Okay, so what you want to do is we want to have only single variable that I want to assign, and I'm going to pass this index number, and that is going to represent what I want. That's why the array comes in a picture. Okay, so without making this much longer, let's go with this. Let's run this guy out again. Okay, nothing changed. So I want other guys to be representing too. I want other guys to print out. So what do I do? If I want to continue, I have two options. I would either continue to print like this and continue to give this guy, right, this guy changeable format 1 2 3, just like here, or I could use something different called for loop. For loop, it starts like, and this can be anything. This is a variable. It starts with the 0 because remember your array starts with 0. 0 has a value. You don't want to miss that. Okay, and that means initialized value, and then I is less than my array dot length, right? I plus plus. That's what your for loop code is. First thing, initialized value. Second thing is the terminator, or basically how far you want that to go, and last one is incremented by 1 each time. Okay, so it will continue to go until it hits this number, until this condition is true. It's a condition. So let's go through this. If I want to print this, remember you cannot just print with my ARR. It doesn't print. It will just print the object because my ARR is not the value. My ARR is just the object. I can show you here too. That does not print. Always don't get confused with this. You have to pass the index number like this. So to pass, either you have to pass sys out every line, or you have to give this thing. So let's get this. How you want to do my ARR, I want to give this as I as an index, and I want that to loop so that I don't have to continue writing every time, right? So one single line is going to repeat whole action. So all you do is just 2 lines of code that is going to play this again and again until that comes true. Okay, so let's run this guy again, and you see everybody's there. And if you see the first one is what you are saying. So if you just want to print the object, then it makes no sense. Okay, so that's one of the for loop. I hope that is pretty much clear. There's other ways to do this. Okay, so let's say I want public void print my different array. Let's say that's my method. Just call this guy out. I'm going to comment the other one so that it doesn't show duplicates. So how I define this type of array, you can define 2 ways. One is like that, where you give the number, and here you could just give the direct value. So here, instead of getting whole thing out, what I will do, I put this curly braces, and because it's a string array, I'm going to give this string array. I'm just going to put 3 numbers. So it says cat, dog, tiger. Okay, I'm going to give you the same way that I'm doing here. Nothing changes here. Doing the for loop is all same, but defining array is different because you already get the value. So what this means is, first index is tiger, second, which is 1 is dog, 2 is third is cat. Here let's print the size of my ARRY. so that you don't get confused. Going to give the different name, array. So this guy's size I want, okay, and that's that. So what it happens now, let's run. So this is there. So what this is doing is a printout with this loop, just one single array. You define this, just give the direct value, and same thing applies how you would do for int. All you do is, instead of string, do int my int array, just change the different variable, and this is int, so you give numbers, right? Let's say 35 something, right? So if I want to print this guy, I can either get this printout, so let's put this separate. So first thing is, it is going to go through this array's length. This array has 3, okay, so this is also 3, so I can put this here, otherwise it may fail. Okay, so what I do, my int array size I can use the same guy I, or if you don't want that, you could have ended doing this. You could end up doing this. Since these both are the same size of array, I'm just utilizing the same single for loop just to print out. I may have the different scope I'm doing, right? But for now, that's fine. All I'm doing is just printing out. So let's run this out. You see, each one is printing. So each loop, it goes through first guy, and then it comes here, it prints this guy. Then second time, when this is 1, which is second goes to dog, then it prints this one as a second, which is 45, and this 35, cat. Okay, so these are the concept of array. So what is array? Representation of similar data types or the object, and the array is array uses the indexing concept where each individual index represents certain data. Okay, and one more thing, if you noticed, if you don't define them like this, now let's uncomment this guy out and comment the other guy out. If you don't define 7, you know what happens. So if you don't define 7, it comes null. Okay, I hope this has been very clear, and so I hope you understand array and purpose of array by now, and this has really helped you understanding array. Thank you very much for watching my video.